And we are live. Hello. So, I wasn't really sure what I was going to do today. Then I noticed that Shy Lily put out a new documentary, so I'll probably... He will react to that. I'm not sure what else I want to react to on stream. Trying to figure out if I want to keep using my... You know what? Before I get started on the documentary, I might as well show off the mod that I found. It's a mod called Tycoon. Basically, it's, well... It's a mod that turns Factorio into a game like Transport Tycoon, if you played that game. Also, this is the first time I'm explicitly playing on a world that has the biters disabled, as opposed to merely, like, using the creative world. I normally don't play on the Death World preset, although that will change on this upcoming Friday. As you can see, there's something different. I installed quite a few mods. I'm starting out by deconstructing these coal rocks, since doing so lets me save time that I would normally waste mining stone for either bricks or furnaces. Although I will eventually also use it for some gravel, since thanks to alien biomes, I'll be moving slower than normal. So, quite a bit has happened recently, and I'm not just talking about, like, in VTubing, where we unfortunately had the first case where I've seen someone actually die as opposed to graduate. In fact, a moment of silence for him. Okay, good. Good. Like, honestly, like finding out a VTuber died is arguably the worst thing, since, like, if they graduated, it is possible that, like, hey, I would wind up collabing with their identity, but, like, with their, like, another identity. Like, for example, there was this VTuber named Aletta Sky, who is part of Production Kawaii, who had to graduate along with pretty much her entire gen mates. There was one VTuber who did not, in the second gen, I believe it was, of Production Kawaii who did not graduate alongside them. But that's only because she'd graduated over something else separately. And I don't think this was like a protest case. Like, there was actually some time between the two. Fortunately, things played out in a way that I would consider is positive, so collabing with the person behind that model is within the realm of possibility if I get big enough. Something a bit more amusing, however, is, well, the GTA 6's trailer getting controversy. Like, I would have, like, if you don't know, GTA 6, I'd say, is pretty much guaranteed to be controversial. Or rather, it was, since, like, if you, like, it's one of the things of the certainties in life, like, alongside death and taxes. What I don't think anyone was expecting was how it would be controversial. Like, you have idiots like Jackson Hinkle unironically claiming that it's a Zionist game. It's not. Like, Rockstar is American, not Israeli. And GTA is just a satire of real life in general. Like, it's probably made fun of Muslims just as much as it's made fun of Jews. Jewish people. Oh. And then, of course, you have idiots like Keemstar attempting to generate clicks. It's like, he attempted to claim that GTA would have its first trans protagonist, and I could maybe see that happening eventually, but I don't think that they would do that in the game that they're having their first female protagonist. Like, besides, if they were going to do that, I actually think it would be a bit better if they did it so, like, if they did it as, like, create a character, for example. Like, I could see that actually working out. So yeah, I'm thinking I get some, like, science and... then I'll react to Shy Lily's documentary. If you're curious what I'm doing here, it's... Alien Biomes, which is the mod that makes my game of Factorio appear a lot more varied than normal, really slows you down, so so fortunately I can just use this to speed things up. It's like upgrading from belts in the base game, since currently I'm the only way to carry things. What should I research first? Automation would probably be good. Basic vehicles, so I can build this hauler. Wooden floorboards, or it's aside from the fact that it'll give me some use for getting rid of trees, it'll also let me move faster. Or plus I can use it to make, like, a vehicle bay. I can actually for the most part, I can actually ignore walls. Okay, there are some things that I will want, but I don't have to, like, build... build huge setups. Like, I can completely ignore gun turrets, for example. Of course, the real thing that lets... Of course, the real thing I can use to boost my speed is build stone-owned pathways. And I'm gonna do that because... it's even faster. 130 versus 110. I normally wouldn't use wood as a fuel, but it's the only thing I had on hand. When I get my hands on some much better... on a constant flow of coal, I'll be much better off. In case you're wondering why I removed all that stuff, I figure I can upgrade this armor into the... into a much better heavy armor. I mean, I don't really need protection since, hey, I'm not playing with biters, but it just feels nice to upgrade things. What doesn't feel nice is my brother forgetting that I'm here. Sure. So from what I understand, and basically what needs to happen is I need to supply these two things with... with food and construction supplies. Construction supplies I just craft like normal, but as for food, well, I'll get to that in a second since I need to set up electricity anyways. Kinda wishing I'd used AAI since I could just automate burner drills. I mean, not drills, assemblers. I need a second. Instead of... Once I get the ability to unlock... Once I unlock water-fill, this is going to be a lot easier since... although then again, I mean, it makes it easier, but it's not required. Anyways, our first food item is going to be, well, apples. Forgot that I don't have the Orphan Finder mod installed. While I wait for these gears to craft, let's actually watch the documentary. It's not that long, so... Just give me a second. Now, I've yet to actually watch the documentary, so I'm going in completely blind. So, it is possible I might just, like, not say anything. But good news is that Lily did give permission to streamers who want to watch it, so... This looks like a good ratio. Almost forgot to unmute it. Oh. I was just wondering if we'd get, like, a face reveal, since, like, this isn't... I really didn't mention that, but I could have maybe seen her using this as a clever way of doing that. But, hey, if she wants to remain anonymous, so be it. Who am I to dictate that? I wonder if we'll see her stream on VStream, since they've clearly gotten in contact. Oh. Honestly, that wasn't entirely unexpected. Like, she has posted photos. I guess the only thing I was kind of surprised by was, I guess, like, her hair color. Or I would have guessed she'd use a mask to hide her face instead of blurring it. And I mean, like, an actual mask, like one you'd take to a costume party, not like a COVID mask. I probably will go to a TwitchCon at some point. It's just, I can't exactly do rough, so... I'd probably go to SakuraCon first, if anything, since, well, I live in the city that takes place in. You know, I actually knew what Numi's face looked like since, believe it or not, Hassan Piker unintentionally made her do a face reveal. Oh, so there is, like... Actually, if that's the case, I have an idea. Yeah, Lily does strike me as a very positive influence. She's one of my favorite VTubers for a reason. She's not my favorite, but that's only because, well, Snuffy exists. And I'm pretty sure she'd understand that since she does think highly of Snuffy. Like, not to the point where Snuffy is her Oshi, but, like, still. Oh, you get what I'm saying. And I actually have a few people I interact with semi-regularly on Twitter that are other streamers. No one, like, big. But I do say this because I can't help but wonder who will wind up being my equivalent of New Me. I installed this mod that adds like hard bass to the labs. That I get where Lily is coming from. Like, I do have some friends online that I interact with a lot, but I don't really have, like, a New Me in the sense that who streams per se. Admittedly, I don't mind now, but I'm just more curious is when that eventually happens. When I do find, like, someone who I have a relationship with, it's similar to New Me and Lily's relation, who will they be? I just realized I forgot to install the inventory repair mod. Then again, since I don't have to deal with biters, it's not a big deal. You know, honestly, I wouldn't. It is possible I could have chosen to be a voice streamer, but I don't think there's a case where I would have wound up as, like, a face cam streamer, unless I was really confident. Like, I have had to do a face reel because my mom, although it was worth it so you guys could see those cute the cats that I had when they were kittens. Needless to say, I'm going to institute a ban on her showing up at my place when I get my own house. You know, the funny thing is that I actually think that the appearance of her issue of her height is not really one she'd actually have to worry about, since, well, she's actually made that pretty clear, like, unless she's actually been lying about her height, which I doubt is the case, since, well, if you're gonna lie about your height, you usually say you're taller than you actually are, not shorter. Or at least if you're on the internet. Like, if you're in person is a different story, since, like, you could lie to make someone who's insecure about their height feel better, but if you don't actually see someone, an in-person is a different story. Same. I just realized I didn't notice it at first, since I have Factorio in the foreground, but I just realized Shy Lily's holding the sign with her name upside down. Oh, hey, we finally have a construction site up and running. Oh, hey, Nags. I wouldn't... Nags, like, honestly, he's one of the few face cam streamers I'd say it's safe to assume is VTuber adjacent. And wonder how long it'll be until I get my first citizen. I should probably start making stone bricks. Yeah, like, I get that. Like, you may recall how when I was streaming Fear, I believe it was Extraction Point, how, like, I suddenly, I felt kind of out of it. Like, I realized it wasn't, at the time, just thought I had, like, a regular cold. It wasn't until, like, afterwards that I took a test that I realized I have COVID. I don't anymore, fortunately. Like, I survived it. Unless, of course, this is the afterlife, in which case I didn't, but I doubt that's the case. Ace, but, like, I did feel kind of bad having to stop the stream, but hey, at least I'm able to stream in the future, and also, to be honest, it's given that I heard mixed things about Perseus Mandate, and, well, I had difficulty with that one level. Well, anyways, I don't think it would have been that big. It was that big a deal in hindsight. Well, that was fun. And I'm torn if I want to just make the rest of the stream gameplay footage or if I want to find something else to react to. You know what? It's been a while since I've done a Factorio stream, so let's just do one of those. The first thing I think I'll do is... is automate belts. You might be wondering why I'm setting up of steam power like this, since it is kind of odd. Well, long story short, I do plan on eventually adding a water tank for like cases where it's too, or like I don't have like enough, or like it gets disconnected. Like, even though I don't have to worry about the threat of biters, it's just good practice. You know, as a streamer, I'm aware that it's like a bad idea to like get jealous of other streamers who are more successful than me and just focus on making my own content. And for the most part, I follow that rule. Like, for example, while I'm not a fan of Nux, like, I'm not going to get upset, since aside from the fact that Nux has been in the game for longer than I have. It would be better if I actually surpassed him. Just by being myself, as opposed to, like, being a product out of spite, since, well, that's not exactly something that a lot of people are going to want to watch. I bring this up because, well, there are a few exceptions, like, and they're not any VTubers, so if you're worried about me attacking a certain VTuber, don't worry about that. It's actually this one political streamer called Bad Bunny. Now, why do I care about that? Like, after all, you don't see me. Oh, she's not even the biggest. It's like, you might not. Well, she currently goes by Kira Chats. But if you want to know why, well, a lot, I would tell you, but I need $5. Yes, she's that streamer. Like, look, currently I cannot ask for donations, and even if I could, I don't really have a lot of people who tune into my streams. Like, if you eventually decide, hey, he deserves my money, then that's fine. I'm not going to stop you, but if you have other priorities you want to spend your money on, then by all means, go right ahead. Like, if your choice is between giving me a $5 donation or buying medication that you need, buy the medication. But I bring her up because, well, she kind of went off the rails. Like, she's gone on for supporting the... I believe PLF, I could be wrong. On which, at least by the US government, is designated as a terrorist organization. And is also notable for hijack. Let me double check actually what organization she's a part of. Let's actually see if Dylan Burns has anything to say. Like, he's someone I trust on geopolitics. It's like, I normally wouldn't bring this up since... he doesn't, so I guess I'll drop it. But, like, Kira Chats has just gone off the rails in regards to the whole Gaza Strip thing. What else could I watch? I mean, I could end the stream now since I did show off the basic component of this mod. I guess I might as well get a furnace stack up and running. Honestly, it's probably for the best that I didn't watch that clip anyway, since if you don't know, KuroChats hates Dylan Burns for whatever reason, even though he's arguably a much better, like, political commentator, since for one thing, Dylan actually went on the ground in Ukraine. If you can't tell, I am a fan of Dylan's. KuroChat's arguably a worse version of Hassan Piker, and I mean, like, the cynical take. Like, at least with Hassan, he doesn't explicitly ask his fans to give him their money. KuroChats is basically some unholy fusion of Brittany Venti and Hassan Piker. Iron is arguably the most important thing that I need, so that's why I'm building this. As I was saying, it's probably for the best, since while she could have seen that in this video, she might have clicked it, and I'd rather not start a feud. Let's actually connect this to the main power grid. Let's see here. I've been streaming for over an hour, so while I do feel like playing for a few minutes, I have at least met... If I did have a quota, I would have met it. You know, there is one clip I'd show right now if I wasn't streaming on Twitch. Since, well, it's a Destiny clip. Feels weird that I don't have to worry about... biters. If it seems like I'm not saying much, well, I tend to not be someone who's like good at talking to himself, at least talking to himself aloud. Like, I can... What I would do right now is actually... Now, if I had the technology researched, is slap down some storage tanks so I can make... like a big array of steam. Well, I am going to eventually replace that underground pipe with storage tanks. For now, this is more than enough. This might seem odd, but I'm just doing this so I can stockpile coal for use on hand. Honestly, there probably is a more effective way I could be doing that, but hey. I think that once this alcove finishes off, I'll put up some... like, proper electric mining drills. Okay, it's actually 6, not 5. If you're curious why I was looking for that particular combination, I figure I'll turn 2 of them into... earn 2 yellow belts worth of iron ore into iron plates, and the third will go into steel. in case you're curious what I'm doing in here, this is the sandbox mod. I'll design this furnace stock, then I'll call it a stream. This makeshift if furnace stack will do nicely. I'm wondering if I should have gone with AAI Industries. If you're curious why I made that last change, it's because I decided that it would be better off to have the steel have its own power. Source of coal. Yeah, I think I'll call it a stream here. Thanks for tuning in, either watching this via VOD or live. I don't judge. More Pokemon Xenoverse tomorrow, although... Oh, this is going to be the last week, since I'd rather not go into the new year playing the same series. Is that He's like, I'd be okay with starting something the last week of... There's also the fact that I have plans for the week before Christmas, so... I want to... But anyway, as I was saying, thanks for tuning in. I'm Andreas Rebel, and I'll see you next assignment. Later.